What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video, particularly welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. If you have so, thank you very much. It means a lot to me, more than I can explain to you guys. Anyway, today's video is all about maximizing your results and progression when it comes to your weight loss journey, muscle building journey, or your overall fitness goals. These are things that work for me. I am no angel, I'm no role model. I simply know what works for me, and I know that I'm getting the results that I want to quite quickly because I'm following a plan that works. So let's get stuck into it. Let me go through the things that I do and implement into my day-to-day life to maximize my results. So in my opinion, and also pretty much a fact, the most important thing to help you progress will be nutrition. Now, that depends whether you're trying to lose weight, gain muscle mass, or gain weight. Nutrition plays a very important role in your body's physique, as well as your health and your progression. Reason I bring nutrition up is if you are somebody like myself, who is losing body fat, but trying to maintain as much muscle mass, if not gain a small amount as possible. If you're getting an efficient amount of protein while having a reduced calorie intake, being in a calorie deficit, but keeping your protein high is very important. Your fats are too, as well as your sugars and carbs. Most importantly, when it comes to maintaining muscle mass or trying to put a little bit on whilst losing body fat, is 110% the amount of protein your body is intaking. If you reduce your calories, then you need to make sure you're not reducing your protein intake. If you are, try and keep it as little as possible. So reduce it by 10, 20 grams maybe, but I would not recommend going below that point, as your body still needs a significant amount of protein that it was having before you started cutting the calories to maintain the muscle mass, or even add a little bit more on. If you're taking away calories, that's fine. You're going to notice you'll lose weight very quickly depending on the amount of calories you're reducing in your day-to-day life, but you'll also notice your muscle mass will go too. So for me at the moment on this cut, I'm 72 kilos at the moment, and I estimate, I haven't had my body fat percentage measured, but I do estimate that I'm around probably 12 to 13% body fat, and maybe even lower, but right now that's where I guess that I'm at. And I've got here by obviously reducing my calorie intake, but whilst doing so, making sure I have the most protein possible. Now what this means is I'm having, on a good day, 200 grams of protein, on a bad day about 160 grams, which is not ideal, but it depends on the calories that I'm having and the type of calories. So what you need to look at is break down your calories. Use apps like MyFitnessPal, which I've mentioned before. Great apps, and they're very handy, especially for when you're on diets. Track your foods. Make sure you're having a high intake of protein, moderate carbs, and moderate fats. If you're wondering how you can get high protein, particularly whilst on a deficit, I definitely use things like supplements, protein shakes for sure, low calorie protein shakes like MyProtein do, Clear Whey. It's about 80 calories per scoop, but 20 grams of protein. 2 of those, that's a really significant amount of protein. And if you're having 2 scoops a day, 2 or 3 scoops a day, then that's plenty of protein. You can get the rest from meats. If you're not eating meat, there's obviously other plant-based alternatives which have plenty of protein. But for me, I eat a lot of meat, as well as the protein cheese, which you guys have seen. If not, have a look in my previous video, which I'll put up here. And it's the Eat Lean protein cheese. The macros are insane, very low calorie, tastes good, and high in protein. So the first point being, maintaining muscle mass is going to be, obviously your calories are going to be down if you're looking to lose body fat, but your protein needs to be high if you're looking to maintain muscle mass. That's if you're on a cut. Whilst it's all good and well, me talking to you about having protein whilst your calories are low, you also have to factor in, are you training hard enough? Are you reaching your potential in your training sessions? Are you progressing in your weights? Are your sessions getting harder? Are you keeping that same tension throughout your training sessions? If not, you're probably going to struggle to see a big change in muscle mass. You may notice some, especially if you're just starting out on your weightlifting journey. But for me, at the moment, training from home, I'm really struggling to get bigger. I'm losing a lot of body fat, but I'm very limited to the equipment I have. So it's hard for me to progressive overload. If you're in a better position, like I said, and you're able to go to the gym, you need to be looking at your progression. Lifting weights is one thing, but progressively lifting heavier weights is another thing. And that's when you're really going to start to notice changes. So if you go to the gym, say 4 days a week, and those 4 sessions per week stay the same, you're lifting the same weights for the same reps, for the same sets over the duration of a month, you may see a very small result, but I'll be very surprised if you start to see growth in the muscle. Because the muscle is used to the tension, it doesn't have any reason to grow. So what you need to look at is progressively overloading in the weight. And that's going to help you massively. Not only is it going to help you grow, it's going to help you feel like within yourself you're progressing in your gym journey, which is also going to encourage you and motivate you to continue going back to the gym because you're getting that feeling of progression. For those of you that are in the same situation as I am and training from home, you may have more equipment than I do. I have a resistance band, a suspension trainer, and 2 6 kg dumbbells, which is far from ideal, but I've managed to make it work because I've been very consistent. And that is another point in progression, is consistency. You can't go to the gym for 1 month, have a little bit of growth, not go for another month, but then go to the month after and expect yourself to progress. It's all about consistency. Staying on point with your food, your nutrition, your calories, your protein, your macros, all of it needs to be consistent for you to see dramatic changes or even changes over a long period of time. Consistency is key when it comes to progressing in your weight loss or bodybuilding journey. So if you are on a cut or trying to lose body fat like myself, you need to ask yourself if what you're doing is enough. Some of you may not have calorie trackers or fitness watches like me. If you do, take them with a pinch of salt. As I've mentioned before, they aren't 100% accurate, but they will give you ballpark figures. So when you're looking at losing body fat, you're going to have a position of your daily calories burnt, depending on how active you are throughout the day. So for me, I average 3,000 calories burnt from activity. Say average because it is average, it's not 100% accurate. So I know the calories that I need to eat to be in a deficit to continue to lose body fat. Now, my advice is if you don't have a fitness watch, look into getting one. They are expensive, but there's cheaper ones on the market, but take them with a pinch of salt. Just use it as a ballpark figure so they can monitor your heart rate and you can have an idea of how many calories you're burning in one day. Excuse the hands, I'm Italian, we speak with our hands. But yeah, fitness trackers will give you a base point of where you can start to looking to reduce your calories. When you start to reduce the calories and you're eating less calories than you're burning, you will start to see your body fat slowly decrease. Now, whilst your body fat's decreasing, like I said just a minute ago, and maintain that high income of protein, whilst your body fat is decreasing because of the deficit. That's a very, very important tip when it comes to maintaining muscle mass whilst cutting body fat, and one that's very overlooked. People think that they just reduce calories and macros, they're going to stay in a good shape whilst losing body fat. Chances are it will stay like that for a couple of weeks, but you'll start soon to feel depleted and look like you're losing muscle mass, because you most likely are. If you are quite an active person or not, say for instance you are like myself and you go for a run every day, you know that that run on top averagely burns anywhere between 300 to 400 calories. Now I see that as an extra 300 to 400 calories on top of what I can eat. So cardio plays a very big part in losing body fat and particularly achieving your weight loss goals. It also, there you could argue, it does help with a little bit of muscle growth, especially when incline running or decline running. You could argue that it's working your shoulder muscles. It works all the muscles in your body, not to the same intensity as a weightlifting session will do. But my point is, if you are struggling to lose body fat and you want to do it quickly, maybe look to enhance the calories being burnt, aka go for a run, go for a walk, a bike ride, whatever it may be. If you're more active throughout the day, chances are your body's going to be burning more calories than it would normally, and if you're eating in a deficit, it's going to speed up the process of losing body fat quicker than you would expect. All good and well me talking about maintaining muscle mass whilst losing body fat, but your goal may be to bulk up and put a little bit of size on and not be concerned about gaining body fat. If this is the case for you, your body needs to be in a calorie surplus. Calorie surplus means eating more calories than you're burning, which means your body is going to hold on to those calories and eventually make its way down to be mass or body fat, whatever you want to call it. Most people do this when they start out lifting in a gym. They may be a skinny build and they may want to put some size on, and bulking is a very quick way to do so. But if you're looking to bulk, just know what you're doing when it comes to cutting, because at the time that I bulked many years ago, I had no idea what I was doing when it came to losing the fat and ended up holding on to it for like a year or two. So just know that when you bulk, you need to be prepared to cut should you wish to. I talk about being in a calorie surplus. What that means is getting significant amounts of calories to make sure you're eating more than you're burning. I would say a common mistake from my own experience, but for other people it may not be. It may work for some people and they may be happy. But for me, my common mistake was just dirty bulking. Just eating whatever I wanted to, no matter what it was. Calories was calories. And I was probably having a very, very high intake of calories per day, more than I needed to gain any body mass or muscle mass. It was just a bit ludicrous, and I saw it as an excuse to eat. And it quite often was an excuse, and I'm sure I'm not alone. But the point is, just make sure when you are bulking, those quality of calories that you're consuming are good quality. Plenty of protein, healthy fats, healthy sugars, everything in moderation. Breakfast, lunch and dinner, break it down. You know you're going to get a significant amount of protein if you're going to eat healthy macros and healthy calories. Just because you have to bulk doesn't mean that it needs to be dirty calories. You can up your calories quite easily through having the same breakfast you're currently having, but maybe make it with olive oil if you're having eggs as opposed to the 1 calorie spray, and so on and so forth. Or just implement a little bit more food into the breakfast you're already having. 3 eggs instead of 2, a little bit of rice on the side, maybe an extra 2 slices of bread, or throw some avocado in there. And the same goes for lunch and dinner. Just make sure the calories that you're adding to bulk are worth adding, as opposed to just going out and buying chocolate and sweets, because at the end of the day it's going to do more damage than it's really worth. You'll definitely see better progress bulking on calories that are healthy and good for you. I'm talking all of this from previous experience. I'm just simply here telling you what I've learned so far when it comes to lifting, body weight loss, body weight gain, and getting cut. If you're going to go into a bulking phase, you know, as I've said, and you know yourself, the most common thing to do is just to up your calories. Use those calories to your advantage as well. While you may not be doing cardio because you don't want to burn many calories, you can also up the intensity of your weightlifting sessions. You may find having all those extra calories and extra food will help you improve your strength and lifting goals, particularly putting on muscle mass. I find it harder to train in the gym when I'm on a cut than when I'm on a bulk. Although I look and feel better, ultimately it's a lot more of a struggle lifting the same weight I was before when my calories are in a deficit. My biggest point to take from this would definitely be, with anything, cutting, bulking, wanting to progress in your lifting, always go back to the kitchen and look at what you're eating. Keep the calories clean when it comes to bulking or cutting. Keep the protein high, again, for bulking or cutting. And keep the intensity of the workouts high. If you're looking to progress in your physique, track the nutrients, but also make sure you're progressively overloading your weightlifting sessions. Anyway guys, this is just a short, quick video. Maybe you may watch this and it may help you progress, or you may think I'm an idiot. Either way, I love what I do. Hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a like and a subscribe. I appreciate it so much, and I'm very grateful for all of the subscribers that I have to this point. Stay safe, enjoy your training, and I'll see you in the next one.